I wouldn't say all,
Yeah.
but generally, majority still expect the school like does most of the job.
Yeah.
And parents say, I'm busy,
Yeah.
I'm working.
I'm working. I'm paying you so much.
Yes, I don't have the time. You are supposed to help me get
Yeah.
this. Like, why is my child still not like striving? Of course, I'm not saying the school doesn't have responsibility. We are a school, and then of course we have to support the kids to reach their goal, whatever aim that they have. But then parents at home cannot just don't care. Or worse is they do things to undo what we are trying to do in school.
Or that's
Like what? I mean, like what are some of the...
I think let's say simple one. Like in school, when we do discussion, we don't want to just like bash, like don't want to listen to your idea, this and that. But at home, when the children want to say something to the parent,
they're being shut off.
they're being shut off immediately. It's like, then what are you trying to tell me? Like, do I get shut down in the real world, or do I actually get the chance?
Before we begin the podcast, have you gotten your free ebook? It's called the Build a Six-Figure Portfolio Guidebook. Now, inside it, we share with you the tips and tricks to bring your stock investing skills to the next level. The best part, it's only 10 pages long and it's totally free. Whether you're on Spotify or YouTube, the link to download is in the description, or you can go to www.firl.co/FREE or www.FIRL.co/free. Alright guys, welcome back to this week's FIRL podcast. Okay, as you can see, it's very, very different.
Many firsts.
Many firsts. Well, actually it's one first. But of course it's the first time for our guests. Also the first time there'll be two MJs on
That's
set.
That's right.
Okay. I would, again, as usual, I like to do introduction, but I'll let the other MJ do it. So, welcome to the podcast, MJ.
Hi, MJ here, Value Investor Mom. This is MJ Tan. That's MJ
Yes.
Gun.
Yes.
Slight difference. So
Mary Jane and Michael Jackson. Take your pick, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm Mary Jane, obviously. Obviously.
I'm Michael Jackson here then.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here.
So, thank you for coming on the podcast. I think it's been a while. I think we've wanted to get you on for quite a few
It's
months
the
already.
third try, MJ.
Yeah, third try, man.
Yeah.
Third time's the charm. And also, I think you are the first female guest in a very long time.
The last was Lee Chu.
Which was our first one.
First one.
So which is like 35 episodes ago.
And you guys had Amanda.
Huh?
Amanda.
Oh yeah, I forgot Amanda.
Amanda,
Yeah, oh my.
yeah,
I hope
yeah.
she's not hearing this. So
Yeah.
So we want to get more women on the podcast, right? For every five people we need one, right? According to SC.
We've been waiting for Suyin, but
Yeah.
Suyin, if you're hearing this,
Yes,
get the
next
hit.
will be you, okay?
Yeah, we're coming.
Yeah. So I think before we begin, right? Like, what do you do? How you describe what do you do? Right?
What do I do? I've been in the education industry for 15 years now.
Whoa.
Do you torture the kids enough, or
I hope not.
Okay.
So I would say I was a chemistry teacher for many years. Then
Right.
The last few years I wouldn't say demoted. I've taken a step back from teaching, but I'm currently a teacher trainer.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, as well as working on the back end stuff for schools.
I see. So is it more like a mentorship of the teacher kind of role?
Part of it is
Okay.
mentorship,
Okay.
and part of it is also training teachers to like grow the team as well.
I see. I
Right.
see. I
So
see.
what? So let's take a step back, right? What was your impressions of money when you were growing up, right?
Bad.
Okay.
Bad. I grew up. My family is a very traditional, Chinese family where I was asked to girls don't need to know so much, find a rich husband, marry well, have kids. I'm not sure how many girls actually get that, because that was what I heard pretty often when I was young. So then, of course, I didn't like it. So I was quite a rebellious girl.
Okay.
So I left home when I was 19 or early 20s. So there are values at home. Yes, my parents, they are lovely. I respect them. I love them. Just that the values may not be what I would love to have learned when I was young.
I see.
So I left home early. Then that was when, when you're outside, you definitely see the world with a different lens. And of course, hit a lot of roadblocks lah. Then you will learn
course.
from the way. Then yes, so money. How should I put this? It wasn't something. I don't want to say wrong thing.
Sure. Take your time.
I used to think like, having a businesses are like, doing a con man job kind of thing. That was my perception, not a healthy one.
You need to
Then-
cheat to get rich.
Yes, so that was the old school perception. Like, then money is just a tool to show off.
Okay.
Like people, every year I see uncles, aunties like buy new cars just to show off, like buy new bags just to show off. Like, is that what's money for? Like truly? So what changed is when I started teaching in the school. So what I really appreciate is that company actually allows all of the staff and students go through a financial session, financial education.
I see.
Even though it was a simple cash flow game, it was a board game from Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, that's right.
So from there, the whole mindset started to like, there is a different world out there about money, about finances. Then, of course, the first book that got me head started is the Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, followed by Kim Kiyosaki's book Rich Women. So that book actually, I remember a lot of things that what a woman is not just an object. That the old traditional way was like you just get married, have child. That's what you need to do.
I see.
So we can do actually so much more.
Right.
Yeah. So that was the.
I'm actually very glad you brought that up because will you say that because of the nature or the culture in which your parents brought that value up, when you look at your peers around you, do you think that has a lingering impact for those who have not been kind of awoken, if you would say that?
Sometimes I'm stuck in between. Like when I get to university, because I was in Monash, so there is a tier differences of lifestyles. So it's like, how these people like get to drive such
Luxurious.
car, and then they basically can eat like fancy foods, have Starbucks, on a daily basis. Like, how?
Money fall from the sky.
Yes. So we do get like, I did get like, pocket money every month or every week kind of thing.
Okay.
But we still have to like, jaga budget it.
Yes.
And if you want to get something, it's either you save,
Yeah.
or you try to ask from your parents, but we usually don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, but now it's like when I see there are like, especially ladies, I feel like the pinch where sometimes, unfortunately, they get trapped into the old way. Like you are already married, you are a mom. There's only so much you can do. But actually, of course, it takes a lot of effort for them to break through from that old mold to really do something else. And you have to really deter a lot of all the noises. People will give you harsh words, judge you, this and that. Yeah. Because I heard this from my own dad and my own uncle where like females don't know nothing about money.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I share this, people are like, really so bad, man?
Yeah.
Because my dad's side, they have eight
Siblings.
brothers.
Oh,
So it was a very strong testosterone
very
family.
masculine.
Masculine, where they really fight mostly about money. So imagine me growing up, that was what I see. So the relationship with money is not healthy. It was not healthy.
I see.
Like, I mean, so what gave you the confidence to break out then, because unless you started your work at 18, 19, I assume because there was a period where you said that some of the values weren't aligned and you wanted to go out. And that's a rare move, that's a brave move because most people, guy or girl, will do it, right?
Exactly.
I think I was the rebellious one. I don't know. I didn't like home when I was young.
Right.
So that was like
Escape lah.
escape. So it was a sad thing, but I didn't like home. So I want to find ways to escape. So I started staying at my ex-boyfriend's house where his mother was okay for me to just stay overnight. Then I started working after SPM. I found a job. I was a part-time kindergarten assistant teacher.
Wow.
So like have a different exposure, and then I run tuition classes for primary kids. Travel handle. My dad did pass me a small little Kalisa. So that was helpful.
Because you could move
I
around.
could move around
mobile,
and then I could try tested working out places. I also did apply for like, those factory. It was a book binding factory, but I didn't get it lah. So I went, but then I flunked the interview. Maybe I don't know. So like I was trying out different things because being at home, I feel like stuck. And then I was the youngest.
I see.
So I'm the youngest. Then of course sisters will have like, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. Normal
protective
lah. Yeah. So yes, so it was that. Then the moment I started experience that I can stay outside, it's like, whoa, that's a brand new world.
Liberating.
I can do so much more.
Yeah.
So I started like staying away from home one day, then 2 days. Then eventually I dragged longer and longer and longer.
I
Of course, father being father, where are you?
Yeah, I see.
Then I think kena scolded and it's and that. Then I told him that I'm not playing. Tomorrow I have early classes. That's why I chose to stay at friend's house.
I see.
Yeah. So eventually, I think he more like didn't bother.
Understand.
Right.
But I'm safe. I will go back
Yes.
whenever I'm
Yes.
done.
Good.
I see. So I mean, like, but so in terms of your, do you have to work to pay for your college uni? Or
Not really. Whatever I work was a like side hustle. I get
see.
the extra income. I was a decent kid from SPM. My college, I was in TAR College. I get 80% scholarship.
I see.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes. Then Monash, my parents did paid for my degree. Initially, I opt for a double degree.
I see.
But after the third year, I found a job. I was a teacher already.
I see.
So I like
Kind of subsidized.
I
Subsidized.
assume this is in your degree will be in chemistry related lah.
medical bioscience and biotech.
Okay,
But I
okay,
skipped
okay.
biotech eventually.
I see.
Right.
So then I just scrapped off the biotech, so I started working. So my mom thought that I didn't wanted to go overseas because of my ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
So it's like, no, because I got a job, like I don't need you to spend that extra. That will cost her another 60,000 maybe.
Just on the fees alone, right?
The fees alone
Not even
without.
stipend and all that.
Yeah. So then they eventually, okay, great.
Save money.
Nice. Actually, that's great to hear. So moving on, right now you're in. I know this is somewhat not investing related, but so you got a job now at where you work currently, right? So what was it like suddenly, coming from where you come from, being at the place you're at? Of course, we're not going to name it, but certainly where you're at is a different group of people, given group of students, or even peers working with them from the background you came from, right? So it's probably like cultural shock 2.0.
Yes.
Because in uni, you're like, that's one, and then working place, then that's even bigger, right? So maybe you
Yes.
can explain a little bit what that
Because
was
it's
like.
a private school for context.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
a
yeah.
private
Private school,
school,
yeah.
and the culture that we do in this school is really different from the ordinary school. So that's like one culture shock there. So there's a lot of unlearning and relearning. And with my background, there was a lot of like bad trauma or programming.
You had a lot of baggage to carry. lah.
Yeah.
And then of course there is always this show like whatever I'm seeing, is it true or not? So of course it take many years. I made many mistakes when I was younger, really. Like the MJ that you're seeing now and the MJ you if you know me 10 years ago is totally two different.
What is
person.
one that you'd like to share?
I guess I was more mean. I wasn't that
Oh.
nice. I was mean. Yeah,
Don't
it's,
scare me. Just kidding.
it's like the way to protect yourself. Okay, if it coming from that, because how I learned that in order to be right is to be loud. To be loud,
right.
to yell and to scream.
So that's your self-protection mechanism.
Yes, so that's the way that you be right. You are right because you have the voice, you are loud and kind of thing. But of course, that's not the case, right? Yeah. So then, education-wise, that is like, how do you unlearn and relearn? What is actually a better way of learning as an individual and as well as to teach the other party? Yeah. Then of course, financial-wise is also through the course. Also, then I started reading more books and even reading. My father was questioning me, what are you reading when I was reading a book when I was younger? So that actually makes me having a bad connotation towards reading is not a...
So you're being questioned about what you read, or
Yeah.
why were you spending time reading? in a
Yes,
way?
I do remember what... It's not even a comic. I think it was a Chinese book. I don't remember what was it. I took it from the shelf.
Yeah.
So he questioned me, what are you reading? Then, okay, so like reading is not a good thing.
I see.
Wow.
Those things, so there was a lot. So I'm until now, I'm still very conscious about like what I may have learned when I was younger. So I'm very conscious about, I don't want to bring that to my daughter.
Yeah, to E. Yeah.
To E, yes.
Yeah. Back to the point about the school and the culture shock that you had, right? So obviously private school, these kids were very, in a way, somewhat privileged to go there.
Or what is it? Not all. Some really, they are very, very lovely.
Okay.
Or they can be privileged and lovely at the same time.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
true.
they can.
They can. Yeah.
Just checking.
What do you think are the main struggles for you I don't know whether you compare notes with teachers in a normal school, and maybe some of the struggles you face when in this private school environment, when you have parents actually paying money for education versus that of, I would say, a normal school where everyone gets treated equally. Do you see that kind of challenges when you face parents there?
First of all, I didn't get to teach in a like kebangsaan school or government school, so I may not have that comparison. Although I've taught students like in tuition classes that came from kebangsaan school, but they still pay for the tuition classes.
Okay.
Yeah, but the struggles I had in the earlier stages is to really build the relationship with the kids, because my background, I may not experience like what they are currently experiencing, that privilege or that tier of lifestyle, which I didn't get that. So then when they share about, sometimes they share about their branded styles, like, at that young age, I'm happy for them if they get to have that privilege, but because I don't understand.
So you're trying to get into their lives, like
Because we need to, in a way, be friends with them, so that we can help them easier when we know what they are going through or what they understand. So that is my struggle. That was my struggle for many, many years, until I think when the whole social media thing is more prevalent, then it's easier to so like currently Squid Game is famous, and it's easier to talk to them like Roblox and this and that.
Yes,
Last time, if there is no like social media, if they don't have a profile for you to like
understand.
stalk, not really stalk, to just that, I know you've been here, you've been there, was it fun? Yeah.
I'm just curious now if I'm just curious about some school policies, right? So if someone wants to be a teacher now, or they want to be a student, do the management team or the people in charge of hiring and all that
Look at the social.
actually look at their socials to decide?
Question. I'm not sure how extreme does the HR team goes through,
Really?
but we don't encourage like teachers and students to be like friends on social
socials.
media that much. If your profile is professional, then by all means, because some may have their own personal life that you don't wish to share, then don't share with students.
Yeah.
Just-
Because that's what we do now, right? Like,
Yeah.
Now if we want to look at people, it's like, okay, do they have
Do
IG or whatever?
IG,
Straight
yeah.
away. We don't look at CV anymore. Look at IG
CV
first.
is so school, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we still see it lah, but
To the point about, I actually had a leading question before I asked that, was that culture shock 2.0 was that if you were to look at yourself when you were growing up versus you look at the students that you are bringing and you grown up, would you say that is so big of a gap that you feel that you want to do something about it in your role? Because like when you grew up, you may not have that as much privilege as these kids. These kids has that kind of privilege, but is there something gnawing at you to say that, hey, why is this such a big disparity? Is there something else we can do about it? And looking at bringing up E now, would you want to have to fork out so much money for her to get that same kind of mindset, education? And it's always a very tough question.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good question. And we have thought about that before. I don't know. It's a tough one. And we still don't have like a good or ideal answer for it. I think we need to strike a balance. Like values that are essential, I think we still have to come from home.
Yeah.
We cannot expect schools to do like all this. It should come from home. And then we, both parents, are basically the best role model. Like simple like manners. If we don't say thank you to like the waiter who serves us,
Correct.
who are
Yeah,
you expecting? Yeah. So we always say thank you to cleaners. Now because we want to show her that the rubbish truck actually helps us to clean the place. So she is fascinated with rubbish truck. Then she will say
Nice.
hi to the
Very-
uncle. So it's like, say hi. We just say thank you. We sign thank you
yes,
to the
yes,
uncle. So it's
yeah.
like simple things like that. Because that's the world that she's absorbing. If we were like, they are dirty, don't go and kacau them, then she will have that not healthy mindset to start with already.
I'm so glad you said that, because you know what, I always, whenever I think of your role as a teacher there, and we, so many discussions we had, and you said, when you see the parent, you forgive the child.
Yes.
I will always, forever remember what she said. Because that's why I'm asking her this question, MJ, because my dad was principal of a private school, and he was 36 years in a government school, right? And it says like, it's like heaven and earth. Okay, I don't want to use hell, but it's like heaven and earth. You come from earth, and then you go to heaven, right? You got unlimited resources, but then you see behaviors of parents very differently, because
Yes.
they say, oh, I pay this much money, that means I want it my way, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, like I used to have a friend, like the mom would just come in to like tell the teacher to change where she sits.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard
Yes.
stories like that, right?
A bit too much of that one. That we experience like really enablers that they enable the child to be like that
Yeah.
without really seeing the context and whatsoever.
But of course, I don't know if you guys agree, I would change that quote to, when you see the parents forgive the child until he's 18 lah.
Oh, fair.
Fair.
Fair,
Yeah.
very
I mean,
fair.
I was 18 as I,
Yeah.
all right, time to I know,
wake up.
mom. It's like the old Bill Gates, right? You're born poor, it's not your fault, but if you die poor, it's your fault. Kind of
Yes.
thing.
But like
Kind of
to
thing.
add on, like to the students, like whatever that they have privilege, don't see it as we don't see it as like a bad thing.
Yes.
Because whatever they have is actually a stepping stone that maybe I didn't get it, but
Yes.
you have that stepping stone. So what can I actually support you by putting the stone maybe in a
Yeah.
better way for you
That's
to
right.
step better rather
Use
than
it as an advantage.
Yes.
To you, since you have that privilege, rather than use it for a negative thing, use it for a positive thing, use it for a change,
because ultimately we want every child to grow,
Correct.
not
Yeah,
fall.
100%. I have a question about schools nowadays. I don't think during my time or your time it was that prevalent, but I see this trend as well. So I just want to see if the school that you're at is facing something similar. So you're at a private school, right? So usually, you start classes at what?
8:30,
8 and at 3, right?
4:30.
So, do you feel like now parents like expect the school to raise their kids for them,
Still, yes.
That's a very good question.
right?
They
That's
still.
a very good
Because then they're like, okay, yeah, maybe I could continue.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say all,
Yeah.
but generally, majority still expect the school like does most of the job.
Yeah.
And parents say, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm working.
I'm paying you so much.
Yes, I don't have the time. You are supposed to help me get
Yeah.
this. Like, why is my child still not like striving? Of course, I'm not saying the school doesn't have responsibility. We are a school, and then of course we have to support the kids to reach their goal, whatever aim that they have. But then parents at home cannot just don't care. Or worse is they do things to undo what we are trying to do in school.
Or that's
Like what? I mean, like what are some of the?
I think that's a simple one. Like in school, when we do discussion, we don't want to just like bash, like don't want to listen to your idea, this and that. But at home, when the children want to say something to the parent,
they're being shut off.
they're being shut off immediately. It's like, then what are you trying to tell me? Like, do I get shut down in the real world, or do I actually get the chance?
Okay, on that, right? Do the parents feel like, oh, then okay? So obviously, if I had to guess, you guys teach a lot of your kids like critical thinking, right? To ask the right questions in hopefully not a standoffish manner, right? So, of course, for parents, especially those who are not raised in that in your tradition, right? Let's say the kid comes in and does what you just described, where they ask a question or question whatever they are doing, the parents, then the parents obviously is gonna, if they're not trained in the same way, they're gonna interpret that as, like talking back or something like that. So, okay, fine, then there's that tension at home undoing all the things that you guys are teaching. Yeah. But then the question is, do these parents then say, oh, so that's what your school is teaching? So then they go to school and tell them, give them a piece of their mind about why this shouldn't be happening,
I think some extreme cases you really have to bring the parents and the teachers together with the children, because sometimes whatever happens at home actually does affect the child really badly.
100%,
Yes,
So
yes.
those may need like really a session to talk about. But I think on a yearly basis, my boss, my CEO, they would actually run sessions to speak to students at the same time speak to parents.
PTAs, right?
Yes, PTA is one yearly, and also like it's an annual. To let parents know what we do here, and to let them know about the shift in education. Like things needs to move in this manner. Why? Because Industrial Revolution 4.0.
VUCA.
VUCA world. We can't use really the old way. It's too old school, rigid. It's not gonna help kids in these days. Yeah, and there are actually nowadays there are more parents who are more open to hear. They may not be proactive to learn about like TikTok or whatsoever, but they know there's such thing. Yeah, and then of course, it depends really on the parents. And if you say my parents, they didn't get the chance to go to school, so they would not know all these modern things. We had to teach them how to use phone, and for them to be able to use a smartphone is a win.
Yeah, it's a big achievement.
Big achievement. But like these days, I know there are younger parents. They are willing to really like learn about Roblox. Oh, there's Roblox. Oh, you want to be a YouTuber? Okay, good. Can give it a go. Instead of like, why do things? I don't do this kind of thing.
Be a lawyer, be a doctor. That kind of mindset.
Yeah. So there are more, which is good.
Great.
So how do you all manage, on the flip side, the kids, right? Because of social media and all the distractions that come with it. I mean, it must be crazy, right? So has it changed the teaching environment? Like, do your teachers now have to deal with more or less because of social media?
The influence, because there's so much.
Yeah, there's so much, right?
Either negativism, too extreme negativism, or too extreme, how would I say, fake things that,
We do have a subject called social intelligence where we actually teach about social skills, human skills, which that is actually, I don't think that is common in other schools. So there's one actually plus point where we talk about all this. Like we teach them about like the 5 love languages, like different people perceive love or care different ways. So these are little things that I don't think government school does it.
Nope.
So if it's like international school or private school, they do this, it's actually helping the children. And then if they have like extra courses where, imagine like we adults, we go for, what do you call that? Personal growth, like courses. Kids, they do have those one. So we encourage them to go for those. It will actually grow them how to handle rejection. As simple as like, instead of like cry or what, then you can always respond with a question, like what can I do to be better? That straight away turn the whole mindset into I can move forward, I'm not stuck. So those are things. Sorry, what was your question again?
No, just how has social media affected the teaching environment?
Yes. So there's 2 ways of saying like we don't want to see it like all as bad.
Yeah, of course.
We use it as an advantage, whatever that they like it now. If we want to get them to move, maybe have a connection with, let's say, the recent one was Squid Game. Although, okay, I don't really like to use it because Squid Game is actually very unhealthy for kids.
For kids, yeah. Maybe the older ones.
Maybe the older ones. Maybe not Squid Game. Roblox, let's say Roblox. Yeah. Roblox. Then, I like Roblox. So can you work on this project or coursework that has the connection to Roblox? They will be more willing to attempt.
Yes.
We're not expecting like a superb work. It's not about that. It's a progress. It's not about the end product.
And also they have a personal connection. Because if you give them something that's not thematic or nothing personal to them, right? They don't feel that motivation, I feel. Yeah.
Then on the, let's say if you know that some of them are experiencing really, of course, recently this whole lockdowns and pandemic, many of the children are stuck at home. And they definitely have a lot of mental support that they required more. So teachers actually will talk to them. Like if like, I know you can't go out, but maybe you can, break the pattern, do something else. Take up planting, just get a plant. You can start propagating, do something to help. Because what we cannot control is we can't leave the house, right? But we can do something different at home.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. We're gonna segue into having been married and having discussions about money. So you've been with Jason for what? All in?
We just had our 7th anniversary. 8
8
years now? Yeah.
Okay.
We had a courtship.
So do you remember the first instance, even during courtship, did you guys talk about money or not? Or it wasn't until It wasn't until you got married.
Yeah, I think someone asked me this question before, like, because I think you all know that we do talk about money like pretty
quite
casually.
right, yeah.
Of course, it wasn't about like first question, hey, what's your net worth? No lah. Of course, it's not. If you like have followed me, like I do a yearly reflection on a yearly basis
Yes.
Yeah.
for I think 9, almost 10 years now. So of course I started doing it myself first. So when we were in a courtship, of course I looped Jason. Like, let's try this together because instead of like, "Chung, how rich you are," so it's from like those overall questions, and then we are all open to talk about really different conversation. Then finances came into the picture because usually when you want to reflect or set goals, finance
It's okay.
finance will be one of the category that you have to talk about. So yeah, it's from there. So we were more open.
Okay.
So yeah, that was how it started.
Okay, great. Would you be able, obviously you can't divulge all the details, but maybe can you give us something like a guide? So I'm pretty sure that there are parents or young parents out there or even couples listening to this, right? Okay, have a conversation about finance, but how? Maybe some rough guide that, is it setting goals or is it looking at the cash flow or is it like whose account is this or that, Do we have a shared pot? Do we have, maybe take us through.
Okay, I'll share our experiences.
Yeah.
It was from the questions that reflection and then goal setting. We will at least basically ask like, is there a financial goal that you want to reach? Like even if it's a saving pot of 15 grand or 20 grand. So okay, we break it down. Then sort of keep each other accountable because it's only a monthly check. So that is like one thing. Oh, we made it like this year.
Okay.
Then we move forward to like when we get married, we have a joint account.
Okay.
So at the beginning stage, we actually put in like contribute, depends on our pay grade because it fluctuates over the year.
Okay, so there's a percentage in a way.
Yeah. So then we spend like things like say we want to travel together, we can use that pot.
I see.
But eventually, like after so many years, that pot is mostly low because it's been such a norm that now I know I settle the rental, the
it's
kids'
more
fee.
efficient.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
more efficient. So it's like automatic already. So I will pay for the rental or pay for E's school fees, and then he will settle the electricity, all the food, all the household like repair and stuff. So it's like so it's averagely about there.
Okay.
So then it no longer become like we have to go through the spreadsheet. We sit down.
Wow.
I wouldn't say monthly. I think only when there was a certain time we needed support because of course sometimes money can go
When you started, especially when you're starting
when
up.
you are starting, and then sometimes like when I was on sabbatical, I need to be more careful on my finances. So we were more careful of the numbers.
I see.
Zero-based budgeting, but not so zero. So long there is a positive cash flow, is a win.
Okay.
So it's always that. So we will run through, okay, do we need this? Do we need that? If we want to spend, how much do we want to spend? Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest? I mean, obviously you have friends who are also in similar position, right? What do you think is the biggest like mistakes that couples can make when it comes to money?
Not being transparent, I would say. But of course, like when I say we talk about money, I have my own play money. Like then he has his own play money. If whatever he wants to do is play money, I won't question. So you still have that freedom, but you don't do silly mistake that it will jeopardize the family's expenses. So there are couples I'm aware that they can't even talk about how much they have, that they are so secretive about their stash, unless it's either you have a lot of debt or you are super wealthy that you didn't want your other half to know. If it's a normal like M40s, about there lah. About there.
Understand. Yeah. I think it's also the fear of being judged.
Yes.
Because it's like when you're spending, like especially for women, if you're spending on a bag, you don't want to have the fear of having to explain yourself.
Yeah.
And then for the guy, it's like suddenly I just want an M4 and M5 and then
And
suddenly,
nowadays, e-commerce is so easy.
yeah.
Ching, ching, ching. Next day there you go. Wait, what did you buy?
Oh, now supercharge someone with BPNL.
Buy
Now, pay later.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
very bad.
yeah.
Never. Whoever's watching
Yeah.
this, no.
Have you ever gotten your expectations flip, or was there a surprise when you then lived with a partner, combined finances? Was there something unexpected? Do you
Culture
feel?
shock.
Not necessarily culture shock. Maybe there is one, but Was it something you didn't anticipate that? Oh,
In terms of finances,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
not so much on finances, it's more on how the person lives.
oh.
You know, like if you like being in a courtship, everything looks like, dressed up pretty.
Yeah,
but when
yeah,
you
yeah.
stay under a roof, there will be the, you toss your clothes outside the basket, that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Actually, those
Kind of irks. I know my wife does that to
those
me. lah.
irks more than the finances. Yeah.
really,
But finances so long, like in a way I think I'm lucky. Like we don't really splurge unreasonably. When we do purchases, certain big purchases, but we will let each other know we will get this, I'll get this.
That's a very good point, and I want to dig a little bit deeper. Was that part of the selection criteria when you were in a
Actually,
courtship?
no.
No,
I mean, actually it wasn't.
it wasn't.
Because before my current husband,
Yeah.
I had a 6 years relationship with my ex-boyfriend. Like
Yeah.
although 6 years, but actually the conversation that we had was very superficial.
Very surface.
So that is like how to live a long lives with this person. But with my current husband Jason, we can actually talk. So
Very deep.
the moment you have conversation, of course, certain conversation you have to slowly warm up. But it's already a good start because you can always discuss, debate, or argue. There will be resentment throughout your marriage life. Then after that, you know that you chose this person. It's not so much of love. It's a commitment. It's a responsibility. You work together. We went through so many winters, I'll call that. But then you still have to, spring will come back eventually.
Yeah. Because MJ and I, we've even joked with, remember the joke you had with Stanley that, what were the criterias like for the wife?
Yeah.
Because he's like an investor and all that. So, okay, it's great.
But okay, I'll ask a theoretical question, right?
Yeah.
So, let's say, you're not with Jason, right? And you are actually prospecting a new guy, right?
I hope Jason's not sneezing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it, man.
So, what are like some like no-nos in general? But maybe specific, we can start with the finances. Like, what are the financial values and financial habits that you want at a bare minimum your partner to have?
I used to have an ex where he is very adamant about the guy must pay for everything.
Okay.
Which I actually didn't like it because it's kind of like an insult. What are you trying to say? You're trying to say that I can't afford what I want.
Yep, it's very true.
So that because I think it's an ego, so it's not an unhealthy thing. So I didn't like that. And then like if let's say you want to Dutch or you want to share, can I treat you this way? Then sure. Then this time you treat me, the next time I can pay you. So it's like there is a teamwork. It's not like because I'm the man, so you're gonna listen to me. So that goes back to my old school. Like my mom said, get someone rich, get married. You'll be a happy wife. I don't think so. So that's one, and maybe not too flashy. Because it could be my limiting belief that I don't see myself meeting someone that is like super wealthy.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
like my network, my circle of friends, if you are super flashy, I will be curious, where are you getting all this money from? Like unless you really work really, really hard. But I think one thing that I really appreciate Jason is he's not those that will be lazy around. Like even like things get tough. Yes, you may have bad weeks or bad days, but eventually you'll pick it up. Like, okay, I know I suck, but then I will move forward and then do something about it. I think that's one of the really gems we can see in everyone. Because we will have bad days.
Yeah,
we will
yeah.
have like days that I don't want to do anything. But if you were to just slack or be a couch potato for years, that will be horrible. But if you just never be a couch potato for a week, okay, fine. Pick yourself back up and then move forward.
Right.
So then you won't die lah. You can basically make money in this world. See, depends on what you want to do. Even if you want to like pisang goreng ke or nasi lemak ke,
Yeah.
so long you are willing to do something, you won't die.
Yeah.
See the hidden intention of me asking the question is so that you can contrast Jason and your ex. That's the real. That's the real.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't to make Jason angry. It's to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
Jason happy.
He's hachu.
Key.
Now we've been married for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. So, investing philosophy. Oh, before that, I want to talk about, since we talk about it so many times, marriage budgeting.
Oh,
Yeah. So when you
So I mean, she did briefly mention about like who does what, but when you're personally, right? Because I've always believed that a person or a household's budget really is a reflection of what they prioritize,
yeah.
right? If I see 30% of your income goes to saving up for a Japan trip, then I know you really like Japan, right? Because you would save so much. So what is it like in the value investment household? You know?
You guys been to my house, right? The
Yeah.
place
Oh,
that I
yeah,
rent.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not like a fancy place.
I've been there 3 times already, I think. Twice.
You guys came and have lunch together. So.
Lunch, and then before that I met
so-
you another time for your I can't
Yeah, so
remember.
see, that's another interesting thing that you say, right? That usually, in order for the guy to even be in consideration to marry the lady,
You must
he has to have
own a house.
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yes, that was what my parents asked me. Like, you want to buy a house, before you get married. Long discussion / argument. Yeah. So because I'm still renting, I've been renting for the past 10 years and more.
And we've talked about this many times. Yeah, I want to hear your
Yes,
thoughts.
yes.
Audience wants to hear your thoughts.
So where do I begin?
Hmm.
Talking about marriage. Talking about wedding fees.
Wedding or priorities of your goal setting in the
Why
value-
rent?
Why rent?
Why rent?
It's basically cheaper actually. Like let's say the house that I'm currently staying, if I were to choose to purchase it, it will cost me more than $1 million. That's the market rate around there. And whatever that I'm currently paying monthly, together with the electricity, multiply by until I'm 60, let's say, it's not even $1 million. So of course
crazy.
people will say that, why not, pay your own mortgage while you're paying people's
Yeah,
mortgages.
yes.
But if I want to be able to, because I'm staying on a landed, so there is space.
Yes.
If I want to pay this kind of, like whatever that I'm paying every month to get this space, owning it is impossible. I would be within a very small unit,
Pigeonhole lah.
pigeonhole, and I really enjoy the space, the outdoor, the backyard.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
E can really run around, and the sun, all these things. Yeah. So if you talk about monthly budget, actually majority goes to, we both own properties, so it's actually our
Here comes the context. So the house that you're staying in, it's spacious. You are not buying it, but you are also owning.
Yes, we both own 2 properties each. So when we purchase these properties, it's really with the clear intention it is for investment purposes.
Right.
So it's not for own stay. So it's really for rental, or I don't think it would be a great capital operation because it wasn't like those heat units. So it was like walk-up apartments and the simple condos. So currently, 4 of them are generating. No, there are rental income. I think only 3 of them are generating positive cash flow. So 1 is without. So it's
Okay,
Yeah.
but
I
at least
think
It's good ratio.
it's
really.
a good ratio. So yeah, so most of the time, of course, we still have to pay the maintenance and everything. Cars is one thing because Jason had to upgrade his car from a Proton to a Mazda CX-5 because we have a kid now.
yeah.
Yeah, so the other things, what else?
Marriage was there was it a splashy, or like, we've had discussions about Tiffany rings and the wedding
If you
rings.
notice,
I hope
I-
my friends don't not listening to this podcast, but
But if you notice, I don't really wear rings. We have a simple gold wedding band. So it was less than 1,000 lah. But we had a tattoo, wedding tattoo.
Ooh, that's
So
cute.
that's
really
our
cute.
wedding date. So
okay, I just tell you, I kind of hope and not hope my friends listening lah, but we basically I went for his what do you call that, his
Proposal.
proposal. I saw the rings, like
That's pretty
it's
big. Right?
massive. Right? Okay. Then we know it was from Tiffany's, so I went to a friend who is a jeweler, ex-jeweler. I said, how much is this? So then she go and give me a
swipe.
30-second like
Evaluation.
recording.
Yeah.
Because then the Tiffany website you can actually know the price.
Because the cut clarity, all that kind of thing.
How much is that?
200,000 US dollars.
Yeah.
So it's like, whoa,
That's my probably wedding budget 1/10 or something.
whoa.
Oh, wedding
crazy.
budget was only 5 figures.
Yeah, mine was 30K.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But like what I said, people are entitled to let's be upfront. We're not saying this to judge people's spending. What we're saying is that when we look at how people spend money, then you actually see the values.
What they prioritize.
Okay,
That's, I think,
I-
where I'm coming.
Exactly.
coming
Let me
at.
clarify
Exactly.
because I'm a chemistry teacher. Because diamond to me is just carbon.
That's a very
see?
good one.
So like,
see?
okay, I know diamond to many girls is like a dream thing to have, but
Yes.
for me, I don't see it as a valuable stuff. It's just a rock.
Yeah.
So yes, because I'm a
I
chemist.
have to say though, that particular ring, so I actually couldn't believe the price. So I actually had to go to Tiffany's to confirm. Right. So the half of the carat price is about half the price. So then that's when I know
do the
the price is actually
double up,
closer to 200,000 US dollars. But why I can understand that a ring was at that price, apart from the brand name, is that it was one of those rings where you turn around, you can see the reflection is on all directions one. So I don't know what's the right word. Is it clarity?
No, it's the
Really
5
good.
C's, man. The card clarity.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, okay. So that's why it's at that price. I'm
Yeah.
not saying I would pay for it, but I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah,
okay, that's why it's at that
like
price.
it sounded like we are quite stingy like that. But then because we rent the place, right? We do invest in like good quality household products, like good vacuum cleaner.
The Dyson, yeah, I know. She's very proud of a Dyson cleaner. Actually.
Who wouldn't, man? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
like all the
amazing,
good
man.
stuff, because then it will actually help us to
Yes,
keep the house, you know,
exactly.
upkeep the house. We don't need really like everything really.
Yes.
Yeah. It's an
Yes.
investment, like.
It's an investment, like the floor robot cleaner, like I do own Thermomix, this and that.
Because you see, a lot of people think that when you buy expensive stuff, they surface level kind of thinking they judge, right? But you think about it, if you buy a Thermomix, it's what, 8 grand?
7.
7, right? But then the time that you get back, your robot vacuum cleaner, the time again that you get back, right? And a lot of people discount that because they said they don't equate time value money to their own time. And I think that's a struggle for a lot of people.
Yes.
Like,
You're right.
yeah, because like I never wash my own car, MJ.
Yeah.
Because for me, I sit down, I live in a condo. I sit down, 30 minutes, someone wash the car. I can spend 30 minutes reading something.
Yes. And this year we actually bought a dishwasher machine.
Oh,
Nice.
So it's a small one, not a huge one, but it actually helps because we used to really spend like half an hour washing and then we have to leave E alone and then she will be calling for us. Then now Jason just take like 10 minutes just to load everything in. Then we can actually spend the remaining 20 minutes before we call for the night.
Yes.
So that like really small 20 minutes,
Pockets, right?
pocket.
yeah.
We can see how E is such a happy child with
Yes.
being with us. So
Yeah.
these are the things you said, time versus value.
Correct. Like when I first got my wife requested that I buy a dryer. I'm like, are you kidding me? right. And it takes up so much electricity, right? Now I can't live without one.
Yes.
Because it's like I go back to my parents' place, we have to dry clothes. Oh my god, it takes me 30 minutes to hang it up, and 30 minutes to bring it down, right? I put it in the dryer, pop, 2 minutes, I'm done.
Done. Then you can leave it overnight.
Yes,
Next day you have
exactly,
brand new fresh
exactly.
clothes.
Part of it is also because, like, a lot of wealthy people, I realize they always pay for this, right? This mindset, literally, they will pay like 1,000 ringgit just to get it done. And part of the reason I think that all of us have to realize this, it's not like natural. Nobody is like 15 years old and like, what? And then they know that I should be doing this because I need to trade. I don't want to trade time for money and all that. It's because when we are young, I think that we have so much time.
Correct.
So we don't kind of value. We think it's like infinite, right? So then just I'll do myself. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. Then as you grow older, you're like, more responsibilities, more of that. Then you're like, suddenly you realize that it's worth paying the time because the thing you could be doing is probably gonna pay you more than what you're paying for the thing.
Exactly.
Or at least it's contributing to a bigger financial outcome.
There's a joke about this, MJ, both MJs. It said, the toilet paper roll, it gets faster when it comes to the end.
Yeah.
So you pull it infinite, right, in the beginning, then when it comes to the end, right, it gets faster, so.
Yeah. So I totally agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Like same goes to traveling. Some people want to buy their dream home, but then it's so far away. But the time they spend
I
commuting,
completely agree with this, man. Yeah. I know friends who stay in what's the place called? Kinrara, even further. And they like commute an hour a day just to work.
I'm always impressed with people who, so we are KL based, right? I'm always impressed people who stay in Seremban and every day
They come.
make the trip. Wow.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
My parents stays in Cheras, so when I was staying there,
And then you.
I was in Monash.
Wow.
Then
Whoa.
for that, I already
Yeah.
then because I was also teaching tuition, then I have to go back to Cheras.
Oh my
Kind of
gosh.
thing. Then later on, I actually moved all my students. Like I find the Subang based one. Then I started renting a place in Subang.
Yeah.
Staying. Then it actually I generate better income. Like
Yes.
spending the time working
Correct.
than traveling.
100%.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Too bad we all need time to realize this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's segue into investing. So you've given context that you and Jason both own properties.
Yep.
So when was your first touch with?
Yeah, what's your
stock?
first invest? Yeah,
Or
investing in general. What's the
investing in
first thing you
general,
invested in?
Investing. Okay, if FT doesn't count, like FT
No,
doesn't
definitely
Nah,
doesn't
no.
count.
I think before I don't remember if it's stocks or properties first. But my first encounter of stock was not like value investing or what. It was hearsay from a friend.
Ah.
I remember this Nestle. It was 40 over
Hey.
bucks that time. Then of course Nestle was already a high price
expensive stock.
expensive stock. I was like, crazy. One lot that time is worth my like 1 month's salary.
Yeah, and I think I don't know during your time already, was it 100 shares per lot or 1,000 shares?
I think 100.
It was
So
already
it was like
100 lah.
40 something. You still need about 4 grand
Yeah.
per lot. I was like, how? So then I didn't buy Nestle. I bought something else. Don't remember. But then of course it was like looking at the price every day. It was so stressful. Of course that is not the right way to invest in stock. So eventually I think I sold off. Don't remember what was it. Then in 2012 I bought my first property. But I think before that, because I told you in the company that I'm with, we do get exposure of all these courses and all these books. And then me and Jason, we have this thing that we do our best to invest in ourselves every year. We will attend courses. I did spend quite a chunk in education. Every year is either property courses, then I've learned about options trading as
Wow,
well.
okay.
But I only managed to survive through a year.
Okay.
Because you need to do it at night. So it was
Yes.
stressful for me. I didn't like it. Then like value investing also, when I learned from you, it was my second time learning value investing.
Yes,
so that's why I
remember.
learned more about my emotional and psychology rather than the fundamentals of it.
I see.
So 2012, I started with my property. Then 2014, my second property. I think 2013 was when I was learning options.
I see.
Because I need to save out my capital in order to purchase another property. Then of course, from Robert Kiyosaki's book, they focus so much on property. They don't really talk about stocks investing. And,
That's right.
and when those gurus tell you that, you got your rental funnel, you can actually buy more, but it's not realistic. I am not doing a business. I'm an income earner. Then
Yes.
there's only so much income growth I have. But the moment we want to get a third property, we won't be able to get 90%
loan.
loans. So it's like, hey, something's not right. I can't be doing this for long. I will get stuck. So I have to find alternative. That's when stocks came back into the picture.
I see.
So I
see.
relearned, because I started learning options first. So it was like everything is more speculative, it's more trading, not so much of fundamentals. So I have to unlearn, then relearn. Then my first value investing course, like when they have all the simulation, I failed so badly. Because I'm not an accountant trained background. I do chemistry, but I'm not like super good with math. I need like calculator all the time. Then so when I started truly investing more in terms of value investing, methodology was in 2015, I guess.
2015. Okay.
So yeah, my portfolio has been about 4-5 years now, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah,
Do you feel
yeah,
like it's
yeah.
more manageable what you're doing now?
Yes. But I noticed I can slack off because it is a smaller, I don't need a huge chunk to enter. So I can slack off this month, then my rest.
Oh, when you say slack off means putting in money, is it? Or putting in
Yes,
work?
putting in work and putting in money.
I see.
Because it's slightly different from how you want to look out for properties and look out for stocks.
I
There's still work needed.
Okay.
Like for example, this year itself, I didn't add new capital into my stock investment.
Okay.
Reason being because I'm rebuilding my emergency
I see.
fund because I use it for my sabbatical
I
in
see.
2020.
I see.
So then of course I reinvest all the dividends. Yeah.
Okay. Is it? And I'm actually I want to applaud you because it's discipline. Why do you think most people don't have that kind of discipline?
In terms of investing,
Yeah, in terms of even before putting in money or saving money.
got no money to spend, no. Like unless we see it from like buying stock is like shopping. Yes.
I think that's a very good
You know,
point.
like when you see like I want to buy this stock, it's actually I'm shopping for it. Because if you put in money like I'm saving it for like retirement or for future, it sounds so boring.
Yeah.
People like, I wanna get this thing, I wanna go to this place, I wanna splurge on it. Then you don't find it fun. But if you see like there was one time, Jason and I, we were actually buying foreign stock for each other on our special days, like anniversary or what.
that's so
that's
cute.
Because
really
okay,
cute.
we don't like, besides like household stuff that we will spend for each other, we don't really do flowers. We do splurge on food, but we don't like do fine dining, that kind of thing. So it's like, what do you want? I don't know leh. It's like we are happy in a way, like we are content. We don't need like really material stuff. Okay lah, I get you your Disney share that you want lah, like one.
Hey, but it's good enough.
It's just one.
Yeah.
That's good enough. Then I want the Apple share. Okay, one.
It's so cute, man. I think you should do that.
way.
Yeah, I don't think I can afford like 10, 20 or a lot
I
for
only
you
own
now.
one Google
yes,
share,
I just
right?
like one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to resume that next year. Yeah,
that's so
slowly
cute,
accumulate.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
God, I never
So
thought of
we
it
do
that way.
that for E as well. Like she has a local portfolio. Yeah. So every year, ang pao or birthday gift whatsoever, we just put it into local stocks.
Wow, nice. Do
Yeah.
you like tell her, hey, every time you buy soft serve ice cream in Family Mart, you're getting dividends?
Not yet.
I
She's
don't
like
think she
only
can.
2 years old.
Yeah.
But she started understanding what is bill.
Ah.
We let her tap, like, or we use like credit card, but we told her it's a payment card because credit card not so nice, ma.
Yeah.
We told her it's payment card, then she would beep. Then she's like, yeah, done, bill. These are things that we can expose to them. They may not fully understand, and I don't think she will get the chance to use coins in real life or even notes.
Or even a check in the future.
No, I don't think so. Everything will be just tap or phone, scan, QR.
My son that day play grocery store with me, and it was about 2 years ago. You know what he said? He said to me, I said, cash your credit card. I was a bit stunned. Payway for PIN.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Take us through the emotions. Obviously, the first one, but the stocks. But take us through your worst days looking at your portfolio, and take us through your happiest days looking at your portfolio. Because I know some people they look at the price and they start panicking, and then some people they receive dividends, they're very jubilant. So probably take us through the worst and take us through the happiest. Or is there no difference?
In the early days,
Yeah.
I actually spent all my dividends. Because I was once I was diving, so that is my I spend all my experiences. So I use my dividends to go for local divings, and local divings is not that expensive.
3-4K.
It's not.
Less than that, you can go within like 1 point something K, like Tioman or Perhentian.
Yeah.
And 1,000 something getting from local shares is pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good and it's pretty decent, like easy. It's not that hard to get that. But then I don't see the growth of the portfolio.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, I won't say that I'm very good at picking all the companies, but it's like average. Then it's like, something is not right. It's not growing. It just hovers around that few figures. It's like something I need to do more. Then, I think there was a difference where how much do I want to put into stocks. There was still a belief system whereby stocks is risky.
Hesitation.
Yeah, because properties I know is still there, but then stocks, what if there's the worry on the price fluctuation was in the early days. So by the time when I was really focusing on value investing, it was okay already. It's manageable. The emotion is manageable. Yeah. So then it's like, how much do I want to put in every month, and that will actually grow that. And the lessons that I think I learned the last few years is about, one is the portfolio allocation. Of course, like good company, I want more. But then the ones that had the chance to grow better, like do we put more or do we want to, manage it? Because it's really, it's a variety. I think one thing that I'm still afraid is when something make money, I think I would take profit too early. Yes,
you wanna
because
lock
it's
it
like
in
I want to lock it. Like, I actually get that, and it's not like Harta Lega, for example, I actually sold it.
I remember you
in
were
the
having a
earlier-
discussion when it was the crazy bull, and you said all your Harta Lega shares were free at that point of time, right? Almost to the point.
Yes, there was one point I was free, so I
Yeah.
actually like sold half of it. So it's like I don't have to worry. So it's like
Yeah.
the cost is zero.
Yeah.
But then like what if I have kept?
But it will serve you well because now it's the
I didn't sell it at the highest, so I was chunking it down.
That's it. Okay.
yeah.
So then that was one thing I feel like, why the worry? Like I want to get the lock in the profit first. But they're also saying like, you can actually hold it longer. But of course now at the current sentiment, it's a different story.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you share what you discuss with us, either in private or in this podcast, about investing as a lifestyle and all that
To your friends, family.
with your friends and family? And if you do, I mean, now through your blog, and I'm very happy that you have something for moms. What is the biggest, or what are the common, what do you call it, misconceptions, objections, or even like, meh, can't work, kind of
Yeah.
thing?
There are friends like I do share only when they ask because they are not everyone is open or would like to hear when you talk about how you make money because people
That's
are
true, actually.
skeptical. So when they ask, then we share. Then some they said like, stocks can make money one man. I do like their Shopee or whatsoever they make money, which is true. So because those are fast money where you need to trade your time
Yes.
for it. Those are basically like side hustle, not exactly investing.
Yeah, you're actually running a business really.
So they don't see like putting money into stocks actually would generate money, maybe quick enough for them. So that is one that I often get. Then whenever people talk about stocks, this is one recent one, I think last year. Either the gloves or vaccine stocks when they were all rally, my dad, my brother-in-law, they were talking about the certain companies that were in the news.
Okay.
So I was like, I didn't. By that time, I didn't wanted to add on. I just listened and I was just, interesting. Yeah.
Since you run a blog, what has been in a way the nastiest comment?
Actually, before that, why
Yeah.
do you start value investment?
Why do you start Value Invest, Mom? Good question.
Maybe I was staying at home because I was on sabbatical. And I wanted to do something other than just purely taking care of E. Because mom brain will get crazy.
Yeah, and you want to channel that energy somewhere else.
Then at the same time also it's also a accountability for me because we do have a portfolio for Enya, for E.
Okay.
So then it's good for me to keep track of myself. Every year at least I will upload it at least once a year. It is not a very active blog because I don't have a specific like I'm churning out content every week so whatsoever. I don't want to commit myself into that yet when my main priority is still spending time with E. Yeah, so that's still number one. Then whatever that I support, because I do support some friends in terms of their personal finances, then I share. If they allow me to share, then I'll share.
I
So
see.
you support them through like giving advice or what? Okay.
So I don't charge this. It's just my personal
Just
social
friend
responsibility.
lah.
Yeah. So when
Next
they,
thing you know, they hear this podcast. MJ helpline. No, just kidding.
yeah, I don't mind, but there is terms of conditions. Some people they approach me like once or twice, then eventually they will just walk off because they can't sit down and go through the whole process.
And they don't have the discipline as well.
Then I said, I won't force you because it's really when you want to make a change for yourself, then I'm more than happy to support. But if you think that you can't pull through, it's okay. When the time is right, then you come back to me. Yeah.
Right.
So it's more to just a channel for me to spend my time on and then doing something useful for myself maybe and whatever content that I share. If it helps anyone out there, sure, by all means. Yeah, so it's more to that. And it's more to for E.
What are some of the realizations you had since starting the blog?
It's not easy to manage, the time and the commitment. I would love to, but
Research.
being a mom, really, I
Oh,
can
yeah,
get
yeah.
tired. And the
Yeah.
moment the mom tank is low, we don't want to lash it to our children or our spouse, right? So
Yeah.
I need to manage myself first before I manage something else, third party.
You remember the picture where she was petting E and then watching our SIB.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
I love
legend,
it. I
man.
love it.
That photo, we have to NFT that one.
Yeah, I still have to watch podcasts or sometimes listen when she's asleep.
Yeah.
Because we still co-sleep. So that's a decision that we make. Some will ask, why don't you put her into the
Yeah.
next room? Like it's just a choice. So
It's
there's
just,
no
I mean,
right or
and-
wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And it's you don't need to care about what other people think. It's your own decision.
Yeah.
So coming back to the part where when you ran this blog, what was the more dreadful or not so nice kind of comments, and what was the comments that actually made you, wow, I did this, I never realized, and then I'm making a difference to someone. I'm pretty sure you had that as well.
There are like moms who drop me DMs that like, thank you for this. Like I never knew I can do this to my children. And then one I really remember, it was a elderly uncle. I think he's in his 40s, 50s. So I was just posting my interaction with E, and then he said, I'm so happy you share this. Like with parents like you, the world would be a better place.
Wow, nice.
We trying to break whatever bad generational
Correct.
patterns to actually consciously do something different for our kid. And then if you can sort of like influence
Yeah.
more parents to do so,
Yes.
their world, although people say that the world is going so bad, but their world would be actually so
Correct.
better
It just takes one spark. Actually.
because of the community, like the parents, how they grow this bunch of kids and how they will work with each other in the more volatile world in the future.
Yeah. Has there been anyone super nasty?
No. I mean, I'm blessed in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't churn as much content. So far okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Yeah.
But people may like okay lah, I'm not like, I don't have like really slim figure. People do look at that
Wow.
on the surface like just another mom. Yeah, I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I'm a mom. That's it.
Proud to be your mom.
Yeah.
So what would we take for a second E? What has to happen for that to happen?
I think I actually recently asked this on my Instagram story. So I'm actually curious how like
Parents decide.
actually decide. Like it was like half. Some of them they don't discuss. They just like when it comes, it comes. But
Yeah.
then some they discuss because I think it is important to discuss. And some of the friends with like similar thinking one, they agree. The mental, the emotional, like financial, of course, you want to provide. We're not expecting like super high like things to provide to her, but at least decent one. Then are you ready mentally? Especially when
It's very important.
we choose to be conscious parent, we actually takes more effort to parent.
Yes.
It's even harder.
Yes.
And we have to always, the moment you cannot trigger already, you have to really like, okay. Because most of the time it's not the children's fault. They are so young, they're just
Correct.
exploring. It's
Correct.
how we react to what they are
Yeah,
doing.
that's right.
So it takes a lot more effort.
Actually, being parent, and I'm saying this by with respect, it's one of the hardest jobs in the world. It's even more
One of the
difficult.
best personal development course you can have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hint, and
It's also quite thankless, right?
yeah.
Unless we start from young how we want to pass this, like be grateful
Yeah,
to our
yeah.
kids. Because I didn't get that. So there was a point like when I didn't like my home. Of course, I will resent them. I'm not grateful to them. But then like because I have to accept that what they gave me or my parents did to me is what they know best.
Yes.
That is not because of they don't love me or what, because that is what they know best. They
It
don't
wasn't
have,
a malicious intent. It's just that at that point, that school of thought, the way they've
yes,
been
there's
brought
only
up.
so much they have and they
Yeah.
can do for us.
Yes.
Yeah. So then, okay, then of course, yes, thank them, respect them. Of course, we can agree to disagree. There are still values that doesn't match. Then don't purposely discuss about it lah.
Understand.
Because they want to spend time with the grandchildren. Let them be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like people changing their mind is like one of the hardest things. Like,
And
it's
the
so
older
difficult.
you are, the harder for you to change your mind.
And it doesn't help that I think when you're in school or even when you get into contact with, let's say, Western kind of education where if you have a disagreement, then you try to argue it out.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't even work there. It doesn't even work there.
Yeah.
You look at all the arguments that happen on TV or the debates that have. After the debate or whatever, they just go their separate ways anyway.
Yeah.
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 So then it makes you think, right? Like actually, what's the like maybe it's a different function, but clearly debating is not
Yep.
the solution, right? And I guess I think what you pointed out about how looking from their perspective, I guess that's where empathy comes in, right?
Yes.
It's a superpower essentially, right?
That's what they say, like, although it sounds cliche, like kindness, really compassion, empathy really goes a long, long way.
Actually, I was thinking about this that recently. When people think of the word empathy, they usually think of like
Weakness.
something soft, weak, or
Yeah.
something feminine, right? Actually, it's actually a power grab.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you think about it, because you can get people to do things in two ways, right? You can basically force them, or use less friendly methods through threats, through
Hostile lah.
blackmails,
Yeah.
through, if you're in the corporate world, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? A lot of, if you don't this, okay, it's implied that something else will happen. Or you can be empathetic and you can get the person to feel like, wow, he cares about what I have to say. He or she cares about what I have to say. He or she really can see things with point of view, or when they say things like, yeah, he gets it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, people can feel whether your intention is real
Or
or
genuine.
Yeah.
or fake.
genuine or not.
And I feel like if you can get someone to say that, wow, this guy really gets what I think, then actually that's a much better way to
More powerful,
way to change their mind.
Just that it takes a lot of effort.
Because a lot of
Yeah.
people are not willing to put in the effort.
Yes.
It's always
Same goes
easier
to
to
parenting.
go solo. Ma. It's
Yes,
always easier
yes.
to just do it your way, to do it from your perspective. Because it takes time to see. Like, for example, if I try to put myself in your perspective, right, I'll be like, in my head, I'll be like, okay, there's the Jason, and then there's E. But then there's a lot of things I still don't know, right? There's probably colleagues in
Yeah.
your workplace that I have to think or consider about, or affect me, or your parents. And so it's very hard, right, to do it. But you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Because the rewards are it's actually quite powerful. I mean, for example, if you can get if you speak to a really rich and powerful guy, and if he feels hurt and he's like, yeah, he gets it, then you're on friendly terms with him. now.
Yeah, yeah.
Not anything you want from him, he's probably gonna say yes.
Actually, it's very well documented in Satya Nadella's book. If you've heard of the book that he wrote is called Hit Refresh, because he has 2 kids, and one of them is physically challenged as well. And when Steve Ballmer was heading up Microsoft,
Yeah.
Microsoft was going nowhere because he's the bulldozer style. Steve Ballmer was get results, American, very, very hard charging, right? And here they appointed Satya, and he chose to lead with empathy. So I highly recommend that book. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, for
Yeah.
example, if you have a co-worker, or maybe your subordinates or whatever working, and the traditional way is that, okay, we need to be efficient and get things done.
Correct.
So you start by giving orders, giving specifics. You can put all the effort in to give him all the information you need, and then it doesn't get done. Then you get frustrated because you've already done it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the thing the way to get your guys up and running is to just ask about their family or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because what you're doing is information collecting
Yeah.
about them, and then that's how it improves the empathy.
Suddenly it rings, but it's similar to how you want to do stock investing,
Yeah.
Yes.
parenting,
Yes.
leading a team.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you just take a little bit more effort to really gather
Precisely.
the information,
Precisely.
of course, a lot of people don't want to do this step.
Yes.
Then they expect a
They expect
result.
results.
Yeah. Short term, maybe you get it, but long term result, if this is done, like spend some time to do it, you actually reap those good results for longer term.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But it's very hard for people to see it, right? Not many people have that training and come to that realization.
Unless something really big hits them in
Triggers.
life, triggers that, okay, I need to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, since you brought this point up, MJ and I, we've always talked about the struggle we have as content creators and educators. A lot of people are very results or outcome based, but not process based. I don't know whether you've heard of the difference, because process based is you perfect the process, eventually the result will come, but it's not going to be short. It's not going to be fast, sorry. But it's outcome based. You can try everything under the sun. Yeah, you get one hit, but then you cannot replicate it. And
Yeah.
when you look about stocks investing, you have a lot of one-hit wonders. I made 5x on this stock, but then is it a replicable process? Was it because of listening to a tip? Can I use the same method to find another stock? And same goes for parenting. Same goes for business, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's segue into something that I think maybe interested to the more advanced people. So what was your favorite stock? And what wonders has it done for you in a way? You got it right, I'm guessing it's blue in color product, and I'm guessing that's the one,
Yeah, okay,
right?
because it's within my circle of competency lah.
Yes.
I'm in chemistry, partial medical. So I was into glove. I did read a lot more on gloves.
Okay.
Although, yes, also I think the one that really, one of my big winner is Hatha Lega lah. I still own it.
What's your worst?
What's my worst ah? Oh, the airplane.
Oh, red color,
Yeah,
right?
but now should be
Okay, what?
Yeah, so I choose not to cut loss because it's not a very big portfolio
Position,
percent.
right,
Just I said, okay lah, leave it there lah. So the others are okay, green, leave it there. So I did receive like good dividends from them before, and yes, pandemic is unprecedented, but eventually things will come back. But how long? It can take quite a while. But it seems like everybody is not afraid of COVID. They are traveling now.
Yeah,
so
I'm joking with everyone now. Half of Instagram is on Langkawi, the other half is in Genting.
yes. So it's still there. So that one is really one of the worst one, I would say.
Yeah. But I mean, it also goes to show that there are so many other factors or variables that is beyond our control. And part and parcel of the game.
Yes.
Right? It's part and parcel of the game. You can't we keep on telling our audience as well as people who are interested that even the best stock pickers in the world get 6 out of 10 right.
Yeah, and you basically don't need to pick all your stocks right.
Yeah.
If you have majority right, then it's
Yeah.
already a win.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the things that you learned about yourself? I think when you started this journey in stock investing.
Oh, the emotions.
Yeah.
I shared before. I actually did invest in a couple of businesses because I trusted
Or private businesses.
private businesses. Like I trusted like the other party because they have like datos or whatever that this business is gonna bring you guaranteed return of a certain percentage. I was young, naive, So I do have a couple of few that businesses. So those capital are stuck definitely. It's about 100 grand there, I think. So
Wow.
if
That's
I've
crazy.
had used that in trusting myself, do my
Hatha
own
Lega.
homework, then maybe it's a different
She'll be
story.
the receptionist, the Hatha Lega receptionist.
Millionaire, man.
Yeah, so I think one of the things is really, I think like I believe that I think it was my background because I was told that girls don't know all these things. So when I learn all these like all these little process, I unlearn, relearn. Then instead of trusting others, so eventually I learned all these things. Eventually I have to trust myself, and it's ultimately my own decision. And then if there is any consequences, good or bad, it is my responsibility to accept it. So up to now, I basically DIY most of my investments.
Good, man.
Yeah, it's a very powerful
I think it's a great story arc, right?
Yeah.
It's not a finished story, but I think
Is
to go from-
ongoing. Of course, like I have like friends that they're what can I do for my children? I don't know about stocks. Then I also understand and empathize that cannot expect all parents have the time to really learn
Correct.
about stocks.
Correct.
So some of them I did give them an option. You can take a look at like unit trust or robo advisors.
Correct.
Although I don't have unit trust, but I'm open to robo advisor. I'm taking a look at what they can offer because it's different from unit trust. Because
Yes.
unit trust there's a lot of charges
Yeah.
incurred, but robo advisor not so much. So I said you actually can try this, and it's not so bad for you to just put in. Imagine little bit lah, 50 a month.
Yeah.
Start when your child is like 1 year old.
Correct.
By the time they are 16 or 18, there is definitely a sufficient chunk for you to send them to whatever. It could be a uni or it could be a business that they want to start.
Correct.
And it doesn't have to come from your own pocket because you have done this job since day one.
Yes.
Yes, because the best thing the kids have is the time.
Yes. That compounding effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know whether you know this, but she's actually a very DIY person at home too.
Really?
Have you seen her videos?
I think I remember seeing the what do you call it? The fence.
The child gate.
Yeah, the child. That's
Yes, it was-
That one I think still the skill level not as high as the one she fixed her own washing machine piping
Wow.
system.
Oh yes, I do.
I look at it, right? I was like, oh my god, men should be ashamed. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Because I stayed by myself for many years
So
now.
you had to do.
So
you had to
before I
learn,
got
right?
married, so of course I have to do all these things. And yes, I can always get someone to come and fix it, but
Correct.
I was staying alone. I'm not so keen of getting strangers to the house to do
Right.
it. And all these things, mechanical stuff, it's actually not that hard compared to a precision
Yeah.
electronic stuff.
Yeah.
So you can try. If you leak, then try again.
Yeah, no, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because of what you said earlier about trusting yourself. Trusting yourself, not being afraid to fail. Because like what you said, if you leak, try again.
Try again.
Yeah, and if I were to draw parallels to that to investing, I think a lot of people don't start. It's because they fear.
Yes.
They fear of losing money, making mistakes. Not.
We have same coursemate.
Yes.
I'm aware that until now they haven't started.
Yeah, that's quite sad.
And it's quite sad,
It's quite sad.
I really want to keep in touch with them, and if you guys know who you are, we were saying this, I love so much of the energy. You remember when we were like coaching and guiding?
Actually, I have to say that group was probably the best.
It's crazy.
Probably
it's
the
crazy.
best.
Yeah.
Imagine
Group
that's
activity,
the
yeah.
energy that we have in the school in our classes.
Yeah.
Because it keeps everyone alive.
Yeah.
man.
Can you imagine when we break them up into group activity? Pam, mahjong paper on the floor, and then we were like, I was like,
everyone was very up to it. Yeah, I always remember the vibes.
yeah,
it
the
was very
vibes
good.
is insane.
And really, I appreciate like the lesson from your session is I learned a lot about my like psychology and emotional in terms of investing, which is actually I find is actually the more crucial part
Correct.
than the numbers.
Yes,
Because when I can
100%.
regulate and manage, so like actually, although this year I didn't really like actively investing, like of course all the news, everything, I was like, okay, let it be lah. When I come back, I know I can slowly
Pick it up again.
pick it up again. I don't have to catch all the opportunities every time.
Yes, and I also want to highlight a point where, when we were getting you to be a trainer. Yeah, I remember she was, my God, pregnant, and then here she was. I wanted to see from your perspective because I was never an educator per se, and I enjoyed so much the energy because I'm pretty sure when you have kids, the way they think, the way they accept new material would have been a challenge for you when you started, and you love that. And I wanted that energy to be translated when you were being an educator. Why do you think people find it hard to teach actually?
I think they're not willing to dumb down. Like to really see it from their level. Because most of the, let's say if I know something, I am like almighty, like you don't know anything, why you so stupid or whatsoever. Instead of, okay, I think you're seeing it from here. Let me show you how to go from here to here. Because most people, they're just willing to see from here and then they are expecting you, why can't you see from this manner? So is that, I think it's the ego again. Are you willing to, just basically squat down to talk to a child rather than standing up? As
that's a
easy
good
as that.
analogy, man.
Because the moment you squat down, they actually feel like, okay, you are
You're not a
with
giant.
me. You are with me you are here to help me. You are not here to belittle me or judge me or what. I think it's more to that.
I
Do,
love
do you
that.
think part of it is that teachers are compensated on a salary? So like usually we realize, and I think that's why you start tuition as well. When I was schooling, the tuition teachers were always better
Oh yeah.
because I'm in context. I'm like government school, right? So, it almost like if they don't do a good job, then the parents are not going to send them back there again.
So there's a feedback process that's very, very
Yeah, but sometimes it gets a bit crazy and actually illegal. So to share, I used to go to my year was 2011 SPM, right? 1 week before the Sejarah history exam, the Sejarah teacher actually leaked the papers. He actually told us question 1, this is coming out. Question 2, this is coming out. And that's why I got an A. I just want to say it first. Because then I know exactly what to study. Because Sejarah, the tough part is that
it's very
we
broad.
know the question 1, 2, and 3, what are the themes. So for example, question 1, we always know is going to be like world civilizations. The problem is there's like 4 to 5 to study, like so which is which. So it told us, the Indus Valley civilizations coming up. So we studied that. So I guess you can get to like extreme, but do you think that's part of it? That because, like you said, there's just people up here who just want to just knowledge dump and expect you to get it. But if you tie essentially their livelihood to the person actually getting it, right? Then they're like, yeah, maybe I need to like think harder, think to be more creative, learn from all these people who are great educators, great communicators to like go to their level. And I think tuition teachers tend to be a little bit better than that.
I mean, that's a good perspective. But most tuition teachers, I may be labeling, but
Yeah, generalizing.
generalizing,
Yeah,
they do it not because for the kids, they do it because of the money,
For sure.
you know.
so it's a very blurred line, to be
It's
honest.
a very blurred line because being a teacher, yes, of course, people say it's really a noble job. Yes, it is. When you really have the heart for the kid actually can feel it, and they will really grow into a different person.
Correct.
But on the other side, of course, we
Teacher
all
also need to
need
eat
money
mah.
to live.
Yeah.
We can't be like, okay lah, I just eat roti every day, but then I take care of you.
What I would say to that is, I think as a rule of thumb, right, my assumption is this, and it sounds a bit, it may not be a fair representation, but this is my view, right? I think in general, teachers or not, right, vast majority of people don't really care if you understand something. That's my view. They usually don't unless there's an incentive.
Yes.
So there's a sliver of people, such as yourself, who, whether you get paid or not, you're very interested in the person actually understanding what you have to guide and what you have to teach.
Heart of a teacher.
Heart of a teacher.
heart, yeah.
But the vast majority of people do not have a heart of a teacher. Yet, if you look at the requirements or the demands for education, is so big.
Yes.
The demands, the number of students, the ratio versus a teacher who cares
Yeah.
is 1 to 5,000 maybe.
Yeah.
And so what this money thing does is that it doesn't solve the how to teach problem, because you cannot solve. How do you solve that, right? But I think what it does solve is that for the teachers who do not have a heart, at least they can get the results. Some of the results, part of it.
It's like dragging the bull.
It's like, it is worse, which is better. It's better than to hope that, every teacher develops a heart of a teacher. Like you rightly pointed out, a lot of them are there just because of the money, just because they have to eat. If they were from a rich family or they married a rich husband or wife, they're just out the door, scram immediately.
Of course, people like being comfortable.
Yeah, that's another one as well. They're just there
They
because
don't
they're
want to like
comfortable.
do extras. Like if you don't know how to forget about it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because sometimes it's like, what if I do extra for you but there's no thank you.
Yes. It's a very thankless job
Yeah,
sometimes,
it's a very thankless job. And sometimes, like many parents, we mentioned this earlier, like they expect teachers to do so much. But actually, if all of us, we don't need like really a full heart of a teacher, just a little bit of heart. If
Correct.
anyone needs a support, just spend that. It could be short time, it could be long time. If it's okay for you, just help out. People will know that you really help them go through the tough times. Yeah, and everyone can be a teacher if you want to. You
Yeah.
don't need to have the teacher label in order to be a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. What is your hope for maybe specifically mothers in probably the space of
Malaysian mothers, I would
Yeah,
say.
Malaysian
What's your
mother-
hope for
what's
Malaysian
your
mothers? What do you want? What's the change that you want to see?
Maybe two parts. One is Malaysian mothers. But it's very, very hard to say this because I know being a mom, there is so many responsibilities on your shoulder.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But if you get the chance to do more, but of course it's like, I'm already cooking,
You're already
cleaning,
stretched.
You want me to do more? I know a lot of people say this, but it's like, if you get the opportunity and you know that you want to try something, it's not because you're being tied out to the children. Try something different. It could be like side hustle, even like, now I know many mothers, they attempt to do like Shopee or Lazada. Just explore that. You don't need to have a billion revenue type of business. If you are
Yeah.
generating extra 4 figures or 5 figures a month, that is
it's
great.
fantastic. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That is
really, man.
fantastic. Or you should just try it out. Okay. And you can always find, because of the power of social media, all these e-commerce, you actually have more options
Yes.
to look for.
Yeah.
Unlike last time, maybe you only have the option of nasi lemak to sell, this kind of thing.
Get yourself advertised on Yellow Pages. I don't know if you even remember the Yellow
Last
Pages
time.
book. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are options, and you actually will learn something as an adult for yourself.
Yeah.
Then you actually can bring that knowledge or wisdom to your children.
Being a role model to them.
Yes, and for Malaysian parents, like new parents, because financial education is still something lacking in Malaysia.
Globally, actually.
Yes, that's for sure.
We
And
spoke to a German guy, he said in Germany, same thing.
Same thing.
So, and with such VUCA world, we can't be waiting for our children to learn about finances when they get out to work. It will be too late.
Too late already.
So start from home. I don't know. It could be even a piggy bank to let them know. Just start.
Just start something.
Yeah, even if you are billing, if you are talking about payment, just casually. Like, of course, don't raise the voice. Don't let them feel that finances is something so stressful. Normalize the conversation. Okay, there is bill, we need to pay. There is dividend. Oh, there is income. So let them know that these are actually common thing. Money in and out is a norm. It's not something like scarce or abundant or it's just a norm. Then our kids, that at least although their prefrontal cortex are not developed until like 25 years old, but when you say this so many times, they will like, okay, this is not something foreign. We only learn about cash flow when I was like 20 plus, but they can learn it when they are at, let's say, 10 or 8. Yeah, so that is what I really hope like parents will make a decision. Just be aware maybe what we had last time, it doesn't work anymore. Just accept that. And then, okay, what I can do slightly different for our younger one because their world will be so different. And recently, because I brought E out for meal. Like she's been seeing so many robotic stuff. The waiter is a robot.
Yes,
At home is a robot cleaner.
Yeah.
So it's like, I was like, their world, they would not. That is what she is growing up with.
Yes.
It will be so different when we are old. They could be seeing flying cars like drones now is a common
Normal,
thing.
yeah.
So
She probably don't know what cash is. So
yes, although I still let her play with coins. We do the jam jars and stuff, but notes she don't really understand what is it. Yeah. So her way of bill is tapping card.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have to let her know after we buy something or eat something, we have to bill.
Yes.
So she knows the word bill, but does she really know everything? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope parents starts to like instead of because I've heard this so many times from elderly like, so young, don't talk about money, cannot be so money minded.
Exactly.
It's like what does it have to do with money minded? Is something normal that everybody uses in their life. Why only you want to let them know when they are an adult?
Yes.
What's the problem of letting them know when they are young? Because they need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that the mindset, really I think it's a mindset shift of what we used to have growing up doesn't work anymore. And now what can you do differently? And just try it. There's no one have done it before. So there is no
Roadmap.
roadmap for you to follow through. You just have to do something different.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where can people
Yeah.
find you?
Before we
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I think that's my two most active.
Your blog?
valueinvestormom.com. It is running, but I'm not as active there. I have to be honest.
Between the laundry, between E, between Jason.
Instagram is so much more convenient.
Yeah.
Just to chat with people and DM.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I do receive like DMs on Instagram, so I do respond. I will respond whenever I have time. That's my promise so far. So
Priority is E and the family.
priority is E and the family because
of course,
that's
of
what's
course. Fair
important.
enough.
So
Yeah.
like followers, not a very big one.
Yeah.
Yes, I love you and respect you all, but you have to wait for me. Yeah.
All right, guys. I hope you guys love this. It's a very different podcast, right? This one.
Yeah.
It's about moms. So, I think like only 9% of our viewers are
Ladies.
female. I don't know how
Ladies.
many of them are mom, but I guess if you have a mom, you
Or
should
you
be
are a
watching.
father, you can
Or you
actually
are a
pass
father.
this
Precisely.
to
Right, exactly, right.
Yeah.
Because I think
Father,
it's important.
daughters, I mean, I think a lot of times we like the old school way of thinking, mom, you have this role and responsibility, dad, you have this role, you have dad, just provide
So
whatever.
I actually think that's I think that today moms not working is a privilege. Really.
Oh, yes.
Because if you look at the world, right, like
absolutely.
I actually think right most women reach a point where even if they're successful at their job because they want children, because they want work-life balance, whatever it is, usually that's what they want. They want to stop working or really scale down working. But a lot of them cannot because perhaps they already have a lifestyle.
Yes.
Or maybe the husband's not up to mark
Yeah.
when it comes to earning income, and that's why they can't quit. But if they had a chance,
Oh yes.
they will quit lah.
Yeah.
Yes, if I have a chance, I would
There you go.
too. But not to say that I don't do anything, but I don't need to tie myself to a full-time job.
Yeah. Yes.
So
You want to have that option, man?
flexibility, so you can.
Time for me to kick Jason's butt.
Yeah.
Yo, hustle more, yo,
and you know, in
brother.
He's working back.
And in the past, you could be a guy and a single income, and that would do the job.
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, not now.
You could be a bank teller and raise a family.
Yes.
Now you bank teller, you may not even raise yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, with that, I'd call it an end to this podcast. If you guys enjoy this sort of content, remember to share it with your friends. For this podcast, please share it with your mom or moms to be, or of course fathers, husbands, sons and daughters. And like, comment, subscribe, notification bell so that you know when new videos out for you, and see you in the next one.
Thank you so much, MJ.
Thank you. Bye-bye.